What's going on, guys? It's Lucky here, and today I'm going to show you a quick video on farming chests in Shattered Mountains, how you can do this as a solo player. These chests spawn every hour, so you can take that into consideration. You can actually add some chests to the run, so technically you'll be able to do this like unlimited. You'll be starting, and by the time you get to the end of that run, you'll just go back to the first wherever you started your chest run, and you could basically do this on repeat. A good tool to use is called Map Genie. I'll have the link in the description below. I'm just going to mark our route here. We're going to start in the settlement here. We're going to head first to the Scorched Mines. There will be 4 tier 3 chests that we grab in the Scorched Mines. And then afterwards, we're going to head to the very north to the cave. There is a bear here, but we're able to loot the chest just by going around the bear. Then we're going to head to this little town here and then to our first fort. And after that, it's basically hitting up the next 3 forts in order along the path. Pretty straightforward path here. After we hit up all these forts, we are then going to go into the center, into the chasm here. And we're going to get 3 more chests along there. Loop around, go across the shrine there in the center, and then get our last 2 chests, and that completes the run. You can add to this run to have more chests or less chests depending on the amount of time that you have. However, just knowing that they spawn within the hour is an important thing, because that way you can really time out when you're going to do a chest run, maybe take a break, do something else, and then get back to your chest run. I do recommend having a great axe or a bow or a fire staff, because that's going to help us to get to some locations a little quicker and get out of danger. The first tier 3 chest, the supply chest here, is located in the center of the Scorched Mines. It's the first one. The NPC will drop aggro if you are in this little area that I'm in. The taskmaster there was attacking a different player because there was a mob. You can do this 100%. Afterwards, you're going to go deeper into the mine. You can set up a camp here in this little safe spot in the center. We're going to pass the mini Diablo because this isn't a elite chest run. You can check out my playlist for that video. This is where you can do the repeatable hour cooldown chest run. So if you want to see that, make sure you check out my playlist for that information. The other supply stockpile, the tier 3 one, is here. Easily grab that by just standing on top of it. Afterwards, we're going to go deep into the mines. We're going to hug the left side, and this is going to be an alchemy tier 3 chest that's next to the boss here. But just getting to this location here, we're able to loot it without aggro. Even if we do get aggro, we can always jump further ahead, and I'll show you momentarily. We can hug this right wall here, go to the left, and we can drop either down there or up here on top. So once we're here, this is the final, the 4th supply stockpile here, the tier 3 chest. That is now the Scorched Mines complete. And remember, this does respawn on an hour cooldown. Afterwards, we head to the very north, and we're at the bear cave now. This is the 5th chest that you're going to be getting on this run. And just remember that when you finish this run, in about 10 or 12 minutes after that, you'll be able to just restart the run again. The next chest is found just south of the cave here in one of these houses. It is another provisions chest. Notice that one of the ways to get out of the aggro of the NPCs is just to simply stand on the chest. And this is important to know because we will be doing this throughout the rest of the run. Our first fort is called the Odium Fort. Here, there are 2 chests that we're going to grab. And since the forts are all the exact same layout, the only thing that changes is the location of the chest. So getting to different locations is done the exact same way. We're going to jump on top of the roof just like that, loot our first tier 3 chest here. And then we're going to hug the right side. And this is what we'll be doing for all the forts that we come across on this run. We're going to stand on this ledge and jump towards the table. You have to jump on the table itself. If you jump too much to the left, you'll just fall down. And if that happens, just run down and come back up the stairs and then stand on top of the chest. You'll notice here that the NPC does swing on me for a little bit, and that is because I'm not as much to the left. But it is a good time to note that bringing some rejuve potions, some food, some health potions is important, because you are going to take some hits, and it's just good to have them at the ready. The next fort is the Vehemence Fort, and we're going to get there, and this is just along the road. There are many times already tents here. If not, this is another good spot to lay a tent. It is kind of central, so there is a couple forts here. This Vehemence Fort is probably the most difficult one. We're going to want to get to the right side here as soon as we go in, and we're going to jump up here and get behind this supply cache here. Once we get behind the supply cache, we're going to go prone, and this is where we'll drop aggro. Sometimes it takes 10 seconds, sometimes it'll take a minute. You can log out of the game at this point and log back in, and that will force the aggro to drop. Afterwards, we're going to jump over and we're going to kill the 2 NPCs that are here standing on patrol. They're 63s, they're not elites, they're not silver bars. They should be very easy to take down, even for a fresh level 60. If you get overwhelmed, you can just jump back out. We're going to get our first chest there, and then we're going to cruise to the right side and do the exact same thing that we did on the other chest. Hug that right side, get back there, jump through the window, stand on top of the chest, and now we have another tier 3 chest. Now, if you do have a fire staff or a great axe, this next location here on this roof right here is easy to do. If you don't, you can attempt to do this by going up the stairs, but I found that this way is the easiest. Make sure you have some health potions, because a lot of times you're going to have to count on a miss from them, so you might get hit with 1 or 2 arrows. Moving on, we have the Errata Fort, or Errata Fort, and the first chest here is on the right side, just like the last time, except we can just drop aggro just by jumping behind this tier 3 chest. And so we're pretty safe here. We're going to loot this chest, and then we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to hug the right wall and go jump through that back window yet again. So once we get to the back, I do loot some of the caches here. If you need the tier 5 refining mats, and make sure you're looting those. At this point, I have thousands of each of them from doing these runs, so I kind of avoid them now. You're going to stand on top of the chest, drop aggro, and you will be able to loot that. You're good to go. I don't really recommend this third chest in this fort unless you have a ranged weapon or a fire staff, for example, because there's so many ranged enemies. However, if you can jump on that roof back there, kill them all, and then loot the chest, then that's a good idea. Otherwise, I usually just skip it. It's not worth the death, the repair costs. Pulis is our 5th fort here on this run, and we're gonna go in, and it's the second house on the left. We're gonna go upstairs. We're gonna stand on top of the supply stockpile here, the tier 3 chest. We're gonna block just in case, but otherwise they will drop aggro. And then we're gonna jump out the window and make a left. So we're gonna head east here. We're gonna be able to loot some chests if you want. Again, I'm not showing all the locations. It's fairly easy to run around each of these towns, get into on top of a chest, get in a corner on top of a bunk bed, and drop the aggro. I'm just showing you where the tier 3 chests are. So moving on to the back corner here, we're going to get another tier 3 chest. When we leave that house, we go into the one right next to it, go upstairs, jump on top, and get our third provision stockpile here from this area. Our final fort is the Lapsus Fort. It's actually funny that it's called Mistakes Were Made, because there's very few NPCs. I think it's because it's so far away from a centralized area that it's very, very poorly guarded. So you're going to run up, you're going to hang to the right, just like the other forts, same layout. We're going to jump behind here, grab this supply stockpile. Afterwards, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to hug the right wall, go all the way towards the back, and jump on top of the rock back there. And then we're just going to jump into the window that like we've been doing the last couple of times. We jump in through the back, climb in, jump on top of the chest, and here is our another supply stockpile tier 3. I did try to make this video as quick as possible and just show you the chest runs. I did edit out a lot of the running, but as long as you're sticking to that path, you'll run into all of the forts. After we jump out the window here, we're going to go to the right, and here is our third tier 3 chests in this fort. And actually right here, I wasn't close enough to the right. I should have moved more to the right here to avoid the arrows. But there we go. We have done and cleared all the chests. Afterwards, we're going to want to double back the way we came and head to kind of the center of the map. This is probably the most difficult part of this run, only because you are required here to kill some level 61s. And these are the spikes, the tongue spikes or whatever they're called. It's right in the center of the map here. You can see where the shrine is located. We're right here on the top. It's a good place to drop a tent. We're going to jump down here, and this is the safe spot where we land. We're going to hug the right side, not too much to the right, and we're going to kill one of these tendrils. They're fairly low health, so they're pretty easy to kill. We're going to kill one of them, and after we kill this one tentacle here, this tendril here, then we can loot the chest behind us, another tier 3. You can completely avoid this area if you're not comfortable with that, just because of the corruption and the tendrils. You can aggro a bunch of them, and it could get very difficult. But you can see that right there is pretty straightforward. Afterwards, we're going to go east or northeast. We're going to hug that right wall. And in this position right here, we're going to climb the wall. And again, I suggest taking pots with you, regeneration pots. It does get a little difficult here only because I aggroed a lot. It doesn't always happen like this. I was just kind of going too fast. If you go slowly, you won't aggro the other tendrils, and it's pretty straightforward. You'll get up there usually without a problem. But again, you have that tent in case you do die, you respawn, you just go down again. After we make it up here, we are at our fourth to last chest on this run. And by this time, you're probably looking at about a 30 to 40 minute run time so far. So you can add more chests if you want to. I will have the Map Genie link in the description, so you can use that to kind of map out your own runs as well. So we're going to kill these level 60 non-elites, very easy. And we're going to loot another tier 3 chest. It's an ancient chest. Afterwards, we're going to head out through this area to the northeast. Okay, we're facing kind of northeast on this edge of this cliff here. We're going to jump down. And where all the stairs are over there, that's where we're going to find another tier 3 chest. Going up the stairs here, we're going to go up about 4 or 5 flights. Afterwards, we're going to make a left here, and here is our tier 3 chest. After this, we have 2 more chests that we're going to get to, and it's just a matter of kind of knowing where you're at so you can jump across the chasm here, the area. So we're gonna kind of go west here, northwest, and you're gonna see these huge spikes, right, that are kind of overlooking the chasm there. And right here at this location, there's one in particular. We can use this one right here to jump across. And you can kind of see where the shrine is on your right to kind of get your bearings straight. You're gonna get up here, you're gonna jump down, and now we've crossed over. And these last 2 are pretty straightforward. They are just 2 back to back. You're going to drop down basically on top of them. You're going to pass the shrine and then just keep hugging this, like kind of like this left wall here, the left edge cliff, I guess. And you're going to then just jump down. Now, both of these chests are right on top of each other. So if you miss this jump, there's no way to get it. So I like to hold down the blocking button, kind of jump down so I don't miss it. There isn't actually a way to get here unless you're falling from on top. So make sure you're careful on that. If you miss it, it's only 1 chest anyways, but still, it just takes a little bit of practice to get it going here. We get that chest, and then we're going to drop down and get our final chest. There is 1 level 60 mob, I believe, that patrols around here. Very easy to kill. It's one of the crawlers. You'll be able to take that down, no problem. And that's the run. At this point, I'd say it's about a 45-minute run if you're doing this. And you can see all the loot that we're getting, all the refining agents. Even though I didn't loot a whole lot of them, we still got a decent amount. Some of these sell for 2 gold, gold 50, depending on your server. So the refining agents are a good moneymaker. But we got a lot of gear. You will get gear score up to 600 on this run, and you can do it completely solo. and basically repeatable as long as you have the time to do it. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to like the video if you like the video. Make sure to subscribe for future content, and I will see you guys later.